Okay, awesome. All right. Well, thank you again for coming to another Career Academy workshop today. Today, the session is on Handshake. It's going to be Handshake overview, and it's going to be presented by our wonderful Handshake ambassadors, Karen and Ashley. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to our ambassadors.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley, and welcome to the Career Workshop on Handshake Overview. So, how many of you started looking for a job or an internship, or who is looking for a job related to their major? You can drop it in the chat or raise your hand. Okay, not yet. That's fine. Did some of you know that there's an app named Handshake that is specifically designed for college students? How many of you know Handshake or have heard about Handshake? You can raise your hand or give a thumbs up or thumbs down and drop it in the chat. Okay, some do, some don't. That's totally fine. This workshop is to help you get started on knowing what Handshake is and more. Now we're going to watch a quick 2-minute video about Handshake.
I see myself working in Ghana as a medical doctor.
I would hope to be on my way to partner at the Big Four.
Become an oncology social worker. I really want to be able to make an impact.
I don't want to make money just to make money.
I want to make a difference.
While I do know I want to do law, I don't have access to resources or people who can help me access jobs.
You don't really know if you're doing the right things, and you don't really have that many people you know in your network to reach out to who've done this.
The mission at Handshake is to democratize opportunity so that students from any background have access to all of the jobs available on the platform.
Privilege gets taken out of the equation. Everybody has an opportunity that matches their talent, regardless of who they know or where they were born.
I didn't see that there were people that looked like me. There were people that thought like me and came from my background. But now I know that's just not the case.
Employers are able to get in front of students, and students are able to get the jobs that they really want.
We have a lot of ambition. We have a lot of potential.
Finding a job is a very daunting and overwhelming process.
Be mindful of the experience that we're going into the world with.
And be open to a variety of stories.
We have a lot of resilience.
We are some of the brightest minds.
We all start somewhere.
Reach the largest,
most diverse,
and active early talent network in the U.S.
on Handshake.
On Handshake.
On Handshake.
Now that we know what Handshake stands for, it leaves us to ask, what is Handshake? So, what is Handshake? Handshake is a career recruitment platform used across college institutions. Students can access resources, jobs, internships, and workshops. What about Handshake at BCC? Well, you can explore jobs, internships, career fairs, and on-campus events by accessing BCC collections, which we will learn more about later. Some may be wondering, what can I do on Handshake? Well, here are some finds. Job search, finding jobs, networking, receiving and sending messages, connecting with employers and companies, support, career building resources such as building your resume. Who here can recognize these companies? You can raise your hand or say it in the chat. Okay, so to those who may or may not recognize them, all of these companies are partnered with Handshake, and you may find their job postings or events on Handshake. Check it out. We're going to go ahead and learn about the features of Handshake, and now I'll pass it on to Karen.
The first feature on Handshake we'll be talking about is the Jobs tab. Handshake recommends jobs throughout their site. There are 4 ways to find them. They're under Jobs, Explore, Employers, and the Career Center. The main source is the Jobs tab, which can be found on the left-hand side and will be demonstrated more during the tutorial. Jobs are recommended based on your profile, major, and career interests. There are 17 filters you can apply to find your ideal job. You can also use the search bar to write a short sentence or list relevant words to the job you're looking for. In case you get stuck and can't think of anything to write, the search bar has suggested recommendations based on any past searches and preferences on your profile. Once you find a job, make sure to click the Save button, which is a little banner on the job application, and then view all your saved jobs under the Save tab located at the top. Messaging an employer. On Handshake, you can message employers, companies, and other students. But messaging an employer allows you to get the inside scoop on a job. By going to their profile and hitting the message button, you can send them a short chat. Make sure the message is concise and direct. Start with a friendly greeting and tell them a bit about yourself. Let them know why you're contacting them, be polite, and ask questions about the company. Ask them anything that will give you information about a job or position. And as always, end off with a closing line, like thanking them for their time and hoping to hear from them soon. Attending an event. While applying to jobs may be your most useful tool, it's important to branch out and socialize. This can be done by attending an event. Events and career fairs can be found under the Events tab. You can browse these by filtering them based on your preferences or viewing their recommendations on Handshake. These activities are meant to help students engage and learn about companies, employers, and on-campus events. Make sure to check out this section as career fairs are always changing. It's also important to check out if BCC is hosting any of these events, which are active during the fall and spring semester. Accessing your Career Center. Handshake has many places to explore, but the Career Center is the most useful tool for new-time Handshake users. Career Centers are made by your school. Ours was made by BCC. Under the Career Center, you may find many resources. Ours has information on building your resume and navigating Handshake. Another tool is the BCC collections. These collections are made up of different majors, industries, internships, and career interests. Just like any other platform, Handshake has a feed page. The feed page is meant for anyone to interact and socialize. So don't be afraid to make a post, like, comment, and share. This doesn't have to be job related. Many people post memes, artwork, and about their life. Treat this as any other social media website. Now we're going to be talking about building your profile. Many students may wonder how to build their profile and what are some things they can add to help them stand out. By navigating to your profile, there's a section called Looking For. Under here, there are 4 sections called Job Type, Job Roles, Location, and Industries. Are you looking for an internship, full-time, or part-time job? What kinds of roles do you want? Maybe it's your first time having a job and you want to gain experience. Or maybe you're ready to dive into something related to your future career. How far are you willing to travel to your desired job? Select the cities and miles that are within fair distance. What type of opportunities are you looking for? Maybe it's something in your major or career pathway. Your profile overview is what employers will see. Take some time filling this out. A profile picture allows them to see who they're hiring. Although it doesn't have to be a picture of yourself, keep it professional. Under the description, you can let them know a little bit about yourself, like your interests, goals, and hobbies. This doesn't have to be job related. You can share what you want. For major, pick the major you're currently studying. You can also let them know any other majors you're exploring as well. While having experience isn't necessary for some jobs, it's important to list them out if you do. Tell them about your past jobs, internships, volunteer work, or anything along those lines. Make sure to explain what you did. Lastly, show off any skills you have. These include both soft, hard, and transferable skills. Show employers what you're capable of.
Now it's your turn. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to scan the QR code or sign up with this link. For mobile, you can search it on the App Store or Google Play. If you're signing up with your mobile, select your school. Once you do, you can click BCC Student or Sign Up. Use Peralta Portal username to sign up and your password. Follow the prompts and create your profile with your major, graduation year, and interests. Start exploring, browse jobs, internships, career fairs, and events. If you guys are ready, can you give us a thumbs up, please?
Okay, now that we've given you guys some time, we're going to be showing you what Handshake looks like on the computer and some of the features we talked about earlier. So when students log in onto Handshake, they start on the Explore page, and here you can find some of the jobs that are recommended for you, some suggested searches, any classmates that are at BCC and similar major, and also any events that are upcoming. And then you can also see the BCC collections at the bottom. And then make sure you guys are always connected to the Berkeley City College, and you can view it on top. The first feature that we talked about was the jobs feature, which is just on all the tabs can be located on the left-hand side. Right here, you just have any jobs that are close or recommended based on your profile that you picked out when you sign up. So mine, because um I because I'm a biology major, I already have some jobs recommending about biology, but then a lot of them are recommended because based off of my past searches. So we can go look at some of the features that I was talking about. We have the filters. We have a couple at the top that Handshake already lets you pick from, like the part-time, internship, full-time. But then if you want to learn more about the filters, you can just click right here and then it pops up all the other 17 so you can be more specific about the job that you want. And then if you find a job that you really like, then you can just click on the Save tab. And then right here, it should pop up that the job has been saved. And then you can also double check by clicking onto Saved on the top. And then it should pop up. And then you can just sort these by like relevancy. So if we attach more saved jobs, this would pop up for each type of job you save. And then you would just go here and it should be updated. And then right here is like my past searches, but then right here it tells you more recommendations like this is AI, and then you can click on any of these to help you find a job that you're interested in. And if you don't like any of these that it gives you, you can always refresh until you find something that fits more of your description. Then we could just like browse and look at the jobs for a bit more. Now that we're done looking at the jobs feature, we can look at the inbox, which is something that I didn't talk about. This is basically where you can receive and send messages. So for example, I have some by some of recruiters. You can just click on them and usually they're just recruiters telling you about any events or jobs that they can recommend for you. And then this is where you can type some of the messages that we were talking about, like greeting them, telling them why you're reaching out or explaining why they're reaching out. And then just ask them any questions about the events or jobs that they're telling you about. And then you can also see any unread. Usually this is where new messages pop up that you haven't seen, but I have already opened mine just to check if there were any jobs that I was interested in. And then archive is where, in case you keep having a recruiter sending you multiple messages and that you don't want to see them, just hit right here and then archive the message. And it should disappear from your inbox, but it would always end up on your archive in case you want to go back and see it again. Now we're going to look at the feed page, which is something that I was talking about. Right here is just like any other social media website. People like to talk about memes. Right here, sometimes it's relevant to careers and jobs, but then sometimes it's just about like artwork and stuff. Like right here, we're just scrolling, and then you can interact with people. Like I like this artwork, so I can just like it. Then I can give them a comment if I want. Here's some other comments. You can agree with them. And then you can just hit back to the feed page. You can also save any posts that you like. If you find them important, like right here, we can just save it. It's just the same. If you want to save anything, just click this little banner. It always looks the same for everything. It's just the little save tab. And then you can also look at posts relevant to your major. This isn't relevant to my major, but it is relevant to like cooking, I guess. Then this is like artwork, more stuff. And then you can also look at any posts made by employers. So it depends what section you want to look at, employers, your major, or just in general. And then this is where you can find the saved job or post that we saved earlier. Now we're going to be looking at events. This is the events page, and this is where you find events by employers. Usually BCC would have events up here before you see events by your employers, or you can check them out here. But since there aren't any currently right now, they won't pop up, but usually they do pop up during the fall and spring semester. And then it's pretty easy to sign up to them. But here's some of the events by different employers. You can click on them. You can just view an event. And then to sign up, it's pretty easy. You just register, and sometimes it'll take you to a different website because this is not connected or you have to do additional signing up to Handshake. But for BCC events, usually just register it and then you should be good. And then this is where there's a little bit of filters. Right here, you can check out maybe you want something related to art or media. And then some of the categories. This is just like if you want to be in virtual or in person. And in the dates, if you don't want them right now, you want them like in the next 30 days, depending on the time of day, the week. And then any specific employers that you're interested in, you can just search them up. And then you can apply some of the filters, like specifically by BCC or just in general. And then if you also see an event that you really like I guess this one, I like health, so I really am interested in it. I can just save it for later by the same little flag that we've been seeing. And then it's just pop up immediately right here and we can just click it and then we have it saved. And then if you want to register, usually when you register, you could just hit this button and then it would pop up right here as well. And then this section is when you check in for the event. Usually you should check in when the event is happening, which will pop up. Now we're gonna look at people. This is people that can be from BCC or just past alumni that used to be from BCC. So right here are some of the other students that I don't know if anybody knows them, but they're more relevant because they have like similar graduation year or and then you can tell these are alumni because these are when they graduated. And then you can also sort if you want to find other people, like pretend we don't want just to socialize with people from Berkeley or Berkeley City College. We also want to see people from LA. You can just hit that, and they should all be students from UCLA that are on Handshake. And then if you want to talk to any employers, you can pick maybe someone from Google that has worked with BCC. You can just hit them and they should all be relevant to that tab. And then you can search up any job roles and also filter what type of people that you're looking for. If you want someone in the same major or role, degree, depending on any of those, you can just hit those filters and then it'll show you relevant people based on that. Now, if you specifically want to look at employers or companies, make sure to hit that employer tab. And then this is where you find all the different companies. For example, here's on Handshake. If you can view Handshake's profile and then what they've been posting, just their work life. And then if you scroll down to people, this is actually people that are on Handshake or work with Handshake. And you can tell because they have the little handshake by their name. So specifically, Mallory works in the VP sales of Handshake, and Britt works in the director of product marketing of Handshake. And then this is another place where you can actually message them, like let's say you want to learn more about Handshake's design, or you want to be a designer. We can contact David, and you could just hit the message button, and then you could just write a message to him like, "Hey, David, I'm reaching out because I'm really interested in design and I'm hoping to learn more." And then you can just send the message when you're done. And we can go back to employers. We can also go to other companies like Johnson and Johnson. Typically, all the companies should follow the same format. They have like an overview of their company and any posts that they have. They have their work life and jobs that are available at their company. And then they have people that are relevant to their company that work at their company. You can look and see if they have any events in their gallery. If you just want to look at jobs at Johnson and Johnson, for example, just hit the jobs tab. They have 2 open right now. And if you want to look at their past posts, just hit post right here. And then you could go down. And if there's an employer that you're really interested in but want to look at later, just make sure to click the follow button and they should pop up in your following so you can check them out. Now we're going to be looking at the Career Center. This is specifically tailored by BCC. So everything here was designed by BCC. So for example, this is where I was talking about earlier, the BCC collections. You just hit view all the collections, and then these are all the collections that Berkeley has made. And then they have like some math, science, and technology majors, and they have like business. But then they also have any career fairs that are happening right now, some internships, local internships, and other things. And then also on working at BCC. This is where you can find some of the on-campus jobs. And then you can also sort them, but I'm pretty sure these are all the BCC collections, so you don't necessarily have to sort them because they just pop up all right here. And you can also search for a name, but again, they're all right here, so you can view them all to see if you're interested in any. And then as for resources, when we were talking about navigating Handshake and your resume, just make sure to click resources again, and then they should pop up. And then you could just click on here, and then you can just see this is where I want to draft a resume. You can click on this, and it takes you to an external website made by Berkeley City College. And then this is where there's just a short presentation of how to build your resume in case you guys are interested in. Or if you want to learn like more about Handshake, and you could just hit this, and then it's just a short video that will play about learning about how to activate your Handshake account. Then we can go back, and then there's just some contact info about Berkeley City College in case you guys forget, and then about their mission, and then any public staff that's currently listed under Handshake. Okay, now we're gonna be building our profile. So if you want to look at your profile, you just hit the corner and it should pop up as an icon. Some people might have pictures, some might not. You just hit the profile, and then your account should pop up. For example, here's my full name. I have my major already listed. Because my account is connected to Berkeley City College, it has the major that I'm majoring at Berkeley City College. So it already puts it for me, but in case if it's inaccurate, we can actually edit it and then make it more accurate. Like say I'm not a sophomore yet, you're actually a freshman, you could just hit that and then save it, and it should update immediately. And then right here is where we were talking about for looking for. I feel like this is one of the important things to fill out immediately because this is actually where you get jobs recommended for you. So for example, a lot of the jobs that were recommended for me were part-time internship and on-campus jobs just because I had them selected already. But this is where you can find some of the roles and then type in any industries and locations that you're willing to look for. And then always make sure to click the Save tab, otherwise it won't save for you. This is the about where you could just write the short description of who you are and what you want people to know, especially if you want employers to see this, because when they click on your profile, this will be the first thing they see. And then you could write any work experience that you've held before in the past. And then some other features that you can actually write about are some courses that you've taken before. Example, if you were a TA, this is important because it can also count as work experience, but you can also put it as courses. And then any organizations that you've been a part of or are currently a part of, you can write them down. And then make sure to put the start date and end date. And then always write a short description. I know this is optional, but writing a short description tells people what you actually did and helps employers see what you did at the organization. And then if you don't have any work experience or organizations, I say the best thing is projects, which is anything that you've been currently working on. So, for example, if you've been doing like a group study or you've been doing something environmentally friendly, you can write this down. And then you can write a short description of what you did. You can, in case you have like a website or something you want to share to show how you've been working on it, you just put a link and then your start date. You can make this continuous if you'd like, or just hit the currently working on this project, and then it should demonstrate that you're still working on it. And then languages are just in case you're bilingual. Pretend, let's say another language that I speak is, for example, Spanish. Then I can select how, if I'm native, if I'm if my proficiency is good or it's somewhat limited, I can just put native. I just save it, and then it should pop up on my profile. Just gonna hit the reload. Okay, and then it should pop up right here. And then right here is where you actually edit. Oh, sorry. Right here, when you click edit, is where you edit your personal profile. So in case maybe your name was spelled wrong, your last name, you can just fix that really easily. Then the headline usually is your major, which you don't necessarily have to have it. You can like have a greeting right here if you want. You can select your pronouns if you'd like, and then also where you're currently located in. This can help you find more jobs to see employers how close you are to them. And then because in the headline, I wrote like a short description, it would pop up right here already. And then how we were talking about earlier about seeing any employers that we'd like, we just go to followers. And then this is someone that I followed before in the past. And then I would say my profile isn't the best example just because I haven't filled it out yet. And then I filled it out yet, yeah. But Daniela, I say would be a good example. Although she doesn't have like everything filled out, she does have a lot. She has her about page and then also her skills and her past work experience, her education, any languages she's she's proficient in, and then just a short description of where she works currently. She works at Johnson & Johnson, and then she has a link to her profile, LinkedIn. But I would say use Handshake. Handshake is better catered towards students. We can go back to the profile. You can also see any posts you made. I haven't made any, so it's gonna pop up as 0. Yeah. Okay. Now that we've learned a little bit more about Handshake, for today's challenge, we're going to be giving everyone 2 to 3 minutes to find a job or internship that they're willing to apply to. If you can't find one that interests you the most. Remember to use some of the filters and always save the job for later. If you can, drop the type of job you found in the chat.
Now that you had time to look for a job, or if you didn't and wish to have additional support, we have the resources for you. These are the type of support systems we have available for you. For example, if you want more support navigating Handshake, we have drop-ins on Friday via Zoom at 12:20 to 1:20. You can book an appointment at this URL. We have one-on-one support from our career counselors as well as our Career and Transfer Center, which is there to help you with career and transfer support. They're located on the second floor in room 243. You can take a screenshot now if you wish to save in your gallery to refer back when needed. Feel free to access any of these resources. We are going to pause here for a few seconds so I can let everyone take a screenshot. And that concludes our presentation. Feel free to ask any questions or unmute and ask. If not, thank you all for joining us today.